because I think creative block is like this crucial moment where your beliefs and your ideas and your desires and your needs, responsibilities are in a battle, are fighting for, whatever battle that they're fighting in your mind. I want to share some of the struggles that I had and some of the highlights, ideas, and tips that I think are vital for me to share with people who might be going through the same thing, who's going through the same thing, or in the future might be going through the same thing. First thing I think that I noticed in that was how my belief suddenly changed, or my way of thinking or my attitude about what I believe, what I observed, how I feel about myself. Because thing is, it happens where you get stuck and you feel like you're not creative enough, or you're not worthy of being a creative. So I realized that sometimes when we go through this creative block, we tend to think ourselves less. We start to have these beliefs that are very contradictory to the ideas we had prior to the actual conflict of creative block. Because I think creative block is like this crucial moment where your beliefs and your ideas and your desires and your needs, responsibilities are in a battle, are fighting for whatever battle that they're fighting in your mind. It's that little doubt or that little belief in your mind that you're telling yourself, hey dog, I'm not really worthy of having to create these ideas. Or maybe you don't think as yourself as worthy because you're in that state where you can't create, where you feel this energy that is blocking you from actually creating something new, even though you have ideas, even though you have the plan to put it through, even though you have the energy, you have all necessary resources, tools, ideas, and all that just to make it work. But there is this force that is blocking you, that is your mind, that is telling you that you're not really worthy enough to create such a beautiful piece or create such a beautiful video or inspire people in that manner. Your mind just cripples and falls down, and you start having this energy that is blocking you, internal restriction, and it hinders with your growth. But at the same time, I believe this is where you are being refined and you are testing yourself how far you can go. Sometimes you think, what if this thing doesn't work? But you can look at it in another way. You're saying, what if it does work? What if I can create some beautiful artwork and it just makes you a person who you want to be? Not makes you the person who you want to be, but maybe put you in a position where you want to be and become the person that you want to be. So I think in that period you need to always constantly remind yourself about it. This is a point in your life where you test yourself to see how good you are and what you have learned, and put those two things into progression so that you can grow, so that you can see yourself, how far you can push yourself and how far you can go in all this creativity. So I think that's one of other things, and that leads to this idea of feeding your mind and thinking in a manner that empowers you, not that restricts you from growing. You think in a manner that is not poisonous to your mind, but it brings that essence in you. So that's where you start to think about positive thoughts about yourself. Start not lingering your negative side of yourself and start thinking, okay, what can I do to empower myself? Now you know what's the reason, or what's the cause of your emotions, or what's the cause of, or maybe what's one of the cause of your creative block, and you start thinking, okay, feed my mind. If I'm, struggling with time management, then, if I'm struggling with certain personal reasons, then I need to focus on that specific area in my life, so that it won't hinder my creative block, but it would enhance, and probably, maybe you will get something out of it. Maybe you will get, not maybe, actually, you will get something out of it. So it's all about that. It's all about having to find that idea, or maybe that one little piece of advice that will initiate or spark some sense of, force that push you, break the first layer of your creative block. Because I think creative block is a layer of layers that stops you from reaching your fullest potential, or maybe the potential that you need to be at a specific point in time. So looking it like that, then you start to realize that there are certain points in your life that needs to be tackled one by one, or maybe in a specific point in manner. So you need to feed your mind accordingly, to make an initiative of getting out of that creative block. Just making a conscious decision, an active decision of saying, I see this is the problem, and I need to find ways to make it work. So that's the first layer is discovering, okay, I'm in this position. Then the second layer is, how can I better myself so that I can go to the next step? How can I go to the next step? What can I do to go to the next step? And you start finding reasons, and you start empowering yourself by that. And the how is, finding books, finding stuff, and doing all these things. But yeah, sometimes we tend to take on beliefs and approvals or acknowledgement from people, and when we don't get there in a manner that we wish or hope for, we tend to think that we're not creative enough, or maybe we're not where we're supposed to or need to be, or maybe we're not the right people for that. But we are. We know deep down we are. Just the need for validation, the need for external validation is really something that we need to pay attention to. And that also needs to come from within. We need to find, which is something that I'm still struggling with, and I hope and pray that I will, push through. And it's really saddening how we tend to, think that we are worthless simply because we're not seeing the results of what we put in, and sometimes that thing takes a toll on us, and we need things, and we need people who can be there for us, but we need ourselves to be there for ourselves. Think about what can we do to shut these noises out, so that we can truly hear ourselves, so that we can see ourselves, so that we can produce the fruits that are necessary for the world from us. We don't need to live out to the expectations of the world, but we also need to understand that there is a relationship between you and the world, and with that reflection there comes a point where you need to make that that those two worlds to come together, the inner world and the outer world, and you need to be able to alternate between the two. So it's more important when you when you're in this state, to focus on yourself and to really dive in deep and ask yourself, how can you better yourself? How can you grow your ways? How can you shift from thinking negatively to positively? How can you really work up yourself and see the ways that you can do so that you can ignite that spark again, so that you can push, so that this creative block won't be something that is very permanent in your life, because it can drastically go wrong. But just pushing one step at a time, one layer at a time, breaking one layer at a time. If you at this point in the video, you just give it a like, and subscribe. I really appreciate that. But most of it I would appreciate is the engagement with the video. Comment there and give some feedback. Just give it some comment, Nyana, thank you, goodbye, whatever. But I feel sometimes like time is so not with me, it's so against me right now. Things have been hectic these past few weeks of my life. I don't know, it's been so crazy.